Y'all, come on in, come on in. I am back with the recap of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So the scene kicks off with Bambi on set for her music video. Bambi, stick to modeling. Okay, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with your music, but stick to modeling and acting. Your body is tea, honey. You are eating the girls up on Love and Hip Hop. Her body is natural. I just love her body. But anyway, her man, Rayface and Zale are there to support her. But somehow, Karlie and her messy-ass divorce become the main topic. Because of course it does. So, Bambi says she feels bad for Karlie because she was low-key obsessed with that man, and she was. Where to lie at? Anytime a grown-ass woman put air tags in your car and uses her phone to spy on you, that is obsession and just straight up crazy as hell. And it reminds me of some things that I did in my 20s. And I'm surprised that Karlie, being more seasoned, is still doing the same damn thing. So Zale, doing too much per usual, says that Karlie is obsessed with every man she's been with. What a lie at. And he says she probably got a new man already lined up. What a lie at. I believe him. I'm sure she does. Every season it's a new man. But Zale, he is so messy. Why does he have it in for Karlie? It's like, for one season, I thought that he was changing. I was starting to see some growth. But now I can see, him reverting back to his old messy ass ways. Why do you have it in for Karlie so bad? What did she do? I'm trying to understand. But Rayface blurts out that Tilo is a good dude. Zale says to him, if you defend a cheater, then that means you're a cheater too. Zale is so damn messy. Let's not forget, okay, Zale is part of the reason Bambi and Rayface broke up in the first place. I don't know if they're officially back together, but I did a video on that. Rayface exposed Zale. I mean, he told it all. Okay, and if you missed it, I'll link it in the description so you can catch up on that. I mean, he aired his ass out. So as I was saying, Rayface said that Tilo is a good dude. He wasn't cheating. How did he know? I don't know. How does he know? But anyway, Tilo may be a good friend, okay? But that doesn't mean he's a good husband to Karlie. Stop confusing being cool with your homies and being faithful to a wife. Two different resumes. Just totally different. But then here goes Zale talking, that he said something about Tilo too young to be dating Karlie. She an old ass woman. He said, if I had to marry Karlie, I'll cheat too. He act like Karlie is on Social Security or something. She's 50. That's not old. So then Bambi starts talking about the wellness retreat, how her and Spice got into it. Now, she said that Spice came to the retreat on some BS, but I disagree because had Ashley, messy ass, not stirred the pot, they would have never argued. That whole moment was started by Ashley when she brought up the suck your mother comment. So yeah, Ashley started all that mess. Moving on, Yandy goes to Karlie to speak with her lawyer. Karlie had to turn herself in because she broke into her ex-husband's house to retrieve some items. Now, I already did a video on that as well. I'll link that in the description if you missed it. Now, Karlie's upset because she feels like that moment she turned herself in, her daughter should have been there with her. Honey, I gotta be honest. Out of order. I disagree. Karlie, you're the mother, okay? And as mothers, we usually try to protect our kids from trauma, not expose them to it. No matter how old they are, that's just a mother's instinct to protect. A child, I don't give a damn that her daughter is dirty, should not have to see their mother going to jail point blank. Not only that, Karlie, she has been emotionally dependent on her daughter for years. And I just don't agree with that at all. I can already tell her daughter did not have the ideal childhood, because it is not fair that you're using your daughter as your coping mechanism. Marriage after marriage, breakup after breakup, her daughter is always left behind to pick up the pieces for Karlie. And that's just not her damn responsibility. Karlie, you cannot continue to drag your daughter into chaos you created. That's crazy. And that's emotional manipulation. I don't think Karlie realizes how much she's been putting her daughter through for the years. I don't think she cares. Heifer, it's time for you to put your childish ways to rest okay, and relationships, and be a grandmother now, okay? So Yandy tells Karlie she needs a retreat. Of course, that's the answer to everything, a retreat. Karlie was like, we just came back from a retreat. They have been going on retreats since season 1. And I promise you, we're now on season 12. Okay, they come back from every retreat worse than when they left. Tell me I'm lying. Okay, these little healing trips ain't doing nothing. So Yandy said, well, maybe I need a retreat. Because her and Mendeecees been in the blogs. Y'all know what she talking about, right? Mendeecees was out here sending voice notes to his side chick and got exposed. I got a video about that on my channel too. Go check it out. So Yandy claims that they dealt with it privately, but didn't I tell y'all that in my last recap? Yandy already knew those recordings existed before they even hit the blogs. Okay, so now she's saying it's embarrassing, and to make it worse, Mendeecees refused to speak up. His response was, well, as long as Yandy good, that's the only thing that matters. But she wants you to speak out. So Karlie tries to play the devil's advocate because she used to being a fool. So why not teach Yandy how to be one too? Karlie says, and she's right, women are more vocal. And that's true, but this is your wife. And if it's eating at her that, the blogs are going in on her, all she's asking you is to say something. Clear your name, clear hers, and move on. Because Yandy is very big on public image. So the fact that he won't speak out to clear the air is very telling. Now, he's not speaking on it. He feels that, that it's him being the bigger person, but it's not. Because what it's doing is chipping at whatever's left of Yandy respect for him. And we know it ain't much. And as we can see, this show was filmed months ago. He hasn't spoke out yet. And I can see right now that Yandy probably really resents him. And the next thing you know, she's going to be emotionally checked out, which is probably why she hasn't cleared her own name in her own little scandal. Because it's been said that she's been out here in these streets too. And then Yandy said, I'm not in the business of keeping a man that don't want to be kept. Ooh, honey. I think it's a wrap for them. I haven't seen them out. I think Yandy is done, honey. So, in the next scene, Sierra invites her husband Zay out to lunch, but conveniently forgets to tell him that Mama Kim is coming too, and that's her mother. Now, Kim, she walks in, honey, she did not come to play. She refused to hug Zay, and she made it clear off top she don't trust him. She tells Zay that her daughter has been through a lot, okay, and she wants to make sure that he has her daughter back. Yeah, Sierra has been through a lot with these men because she keep picking them back to back to back to back. She's never had any rest between the relationship. I'm just saying. And I get it, that mom, I kind of get it. But she also has to trust the fact that Sierra gonna learn one way or another. Ain't nothing you can do to change her mind. And besides, they married now. Sierra, bless her heart, she's another Karlie. Okay, she always needs a man, even if it's the wrong one. She is 3 marriages deep. And the second husband didn't even like her kids. Or was that the third husband? Wait a minute. The second husband, which was Whitehead, Eric Whitehead, he couldn't stand them kids. But she still walked that ass down that aisle. Okay, every dude she's been with has love bombed her, and she falls head over heels like clockwork. So Zay, he tries to reassure his mama Kim. Okay, he was like, the last thing, he said, that's the last thing you need to be worried about. I got her. But Kim, she wasn't convinced. Okay, she brings up some girl who came to the shop with receipts saying that Zay was in her DMs. And she also says she's been hearing rumors about him. What rumors? So Sierra jumps in and she was like, Mama, that was over a year ago. The girl was lying. We already moved past that. So Zay gets fed up and he walks his ass out the door. Okay, and honestly, I don't blame him. Mama, you trying to micromanage Sierra's love life, honey, you are 3 husbands too late. At this point, Sierra has married a man. Ain't nothing you can do about it, okay? So stop trying to control the situation and just support her. And there's already friction between Sierra and her mother outside her marriage. I think they should focus on that first, because Sierra clearly needs love and validation. That's why she keeps seeking it from men. So Kim should focus on trying to nurture that than being involved in her damn marriage. So Sierra is trying to convince her mama that this marriage is different. And she says, I'm a totally different person with Zay. So Mama Kim asked her, well, what's different? And all Sierra could say is, I'm glowing. Half of you glow with every man. Okay? And she said the whole world could see that I'm a different person with him. Sweetheart. Yeah, the whole world can see you're a different person because you keep changing your face. She has fucked her face up. Don't her and Ming Lee look alike? And thinking of Ming Lee, when on Basketball Wives, when she said she was going to meet her mom, it really fucked me up when I didn't see an Asian woman. I was surprised to see that she was a sister because I thought that Ming Lee was Blasian. Anywho, sticking with the topic, Sierra has said with every man she's been with that she's a different person. You said BK was your king, Shooter was your soulmate, Eric Whitehead was your soulmate, so now it's Zay. Forgive us if we not buying your story, Sierra. So people keep saying that Sierra's mom is jealous. Y'all, I don't think that's what this is. If she is jealous, she might be jealous of Zay, y'all. Mama does not like being number 2 in Sierra's life. Okay? Mama and Sierra's sister exposed Sierra months back. They aired her ass out. Mama Kim got mad that on Mother's Day, Sierra was with her man and his mama. And she got better gifts. And Mama became upset and jealous. So yeah, I think if she is jealous, it might be because of Zay. Because the tension between Sierra and her mama, that runs deep, okay? And it didn't start with Zay. That trauma goes all the way back when Sierra was a child. But we'll get more into that at Sierra's pregnancy announcement. If she's really pregnant. I'm giving her the side eye. But meanwhile, Yandy and Mendeecees meet up to talk. And, she tells him he needs to handle his scandal. Mendeecees still refuses to speak out. And y'all already know how I feel about that. Yandy knows he's guilty. They've already had that conversation behind closed doors. And she wanted him to just speak out publicly about it. Tell the people, yeah, I messed up. We worked it out and I love my wife. But he won't even give her that. Instead, she's sitting up here blaming herself, honey. Talking about, she understands because she wasn't being the wife he needed. Honey. No. Now, I don't know if she's hinting that she may have cheated too, because that's been said out there. And I don't believe that for 1 second. Okay, what's really happening is she's trying to protect Mendeecees' image to save face. Because she don't want to look like a fool for standing beside him after he done cheated. So now she's trying to convince us that he only cheated because she did it first. Yandy. I'm not falling for this PR spin. No. You're hurt and he's hiding. Call it what it is. And let's not forget, this ain't even her first time running the same play. When Jasmine's niece said that Mendeecees was trying to holler at her, Yandy jumped out and said that she was the one talking to the girl in his DMs the whole time. Not her. Like, girl, come on. And at first, I believed her. But now I'm starting to see the same pattern. Honey. Nope. So Mendeecees looks at Yandy with a straight face and says 99% of what the side chick said was lies. Yandy said, don't ever repeat that again. It's your voice. Child, and we all know how this ended. Mendeecees did not speak out, and is very telling. Moving on, Karlie and her daughter Jasmine meet at the park to clear the air. Karlie is upset that her child was not there when she needed her the most. Karlie, sweetheart, your daughter is not your fucking therapist. Oh my God, their whole dynamic screams codependent. Just like her daughter said, Karlie, you are constantly putting your daughter in the position of your damn caretaker. You are the parent. And you using your child to cope is toxic as hell. And you know what? They say that sometimes we need to show our children tough love. Hell, the same can be said about parents. Okay? Sometimes we need to show them tough love. Especially when they're constantly using their kids for emotional stability. That is out of order. And honestly, I didn't know what using your child as a coping tool looked like until my own daughter told me that I was doing it. She's 18 now, and sometimes she said, I don't want to hear it because it's stressing me out. I should not be dumping my mess on my child. And Karlie, you shouldn't either. So then Karlie turns around and dumps some more on her daughter. Okay. And she tells her daughter that she was arrested for No, wait a minute. Tilo was arrested for domestic violence, not Karlie. She broke into his house, but he was arrested for domestic violence, to which Jasmine had no clue about it. And I think Karlie should have kept it that way. Use what you're going through as a teachable moment with your daughter, but don't do it to manipulate her to be your emotional support system and guilt trip her. And that's exactly what Karlie's did. Okay, moving on, because that's really all I have to say about this, Karlie. You're wrong. But moving on, Mendeecees links up with Jock and Scrappy, and Scrappy wastes no time and he asks the burning question: is you and Yandy married? Mendeecees didn't say yes or no. He turns to Jock and goes, he's talking about the cheating allegations against me. No, he's not, sir. No, he's not. Scrappy was very direct in his question: is you or is your aunt married to Yandy? The question was simple. Okay, but still no real answer. But in his confessional, he had mentioned, basically that he's not going to speak out about the cheating allegations against him. He said Yandy just have to accept it, and that is very telling. Very telling. Yandy has always been this man's PR, and now he won't even speak out? Child. But anyway, so he tells them that he thought, him and Kirk were cool, but clearly that's not the case, because he planned with their marriage. And then he even, low-key asks, is, Kirk, are you obsessed with the penis or no?
That obsession with my penis and where it's going is not going in.
Yeah, he really said that. He thinks Kirk is obsessed with his peen. Honey, Scrappy's reaction had me crying. I don't know how many times I watched that. Mendeecees, you made Scrappy very uncomfortable talking about your manhood. But Mendeecees said at this point, he hopes Kirk don't want to see it himself. Ooh. Scrappy was like, nah, man, that ain't it. Nah. But Jock finally chimes in and said that, something came to him. Somebody said the real reason Kirk is mad with Mendeecees is because he in a poly relationship with Jasmine and some other chick. But I think the real reason Kirk and Rasheeda got it in for Yandy and Mendeecees, simple. They are tired of being the butt of every joke when it comes to their marriage. So instead of taking accountability for the mess they built, they rather deflect and let Yandy and Mendeecees catch the heat for once. But honey, Mendeecees shut that all the way down. He said his peen will not be going anywhere. And he mean anywhere near Jasmine. He said Kirk can keep his entanglement. He want no parts. Mendeecees is hilarious. Meanwhile, Sierra is having a magazine cover release party. They always having some release party. Something's being released. They're going to have a party for it. So Zane and Ashley show up and they decide, you know what? Let's clear the air with Kirk and Rasheeda. Rasheeda was pissed at Ashley because Ashley made a comment about not wanting to be like Rasheeda, and Rasheeda was offended. Girl, of all the things to be mad at. So what happened is Zane got busted for cheating, like all the husbands on this show. Ashley confronts him about it, and his response: you should talk to Rasheeda. Be more like her. As in, let me cheat in peace. Stick beside me. So basically, he was telling her to follow the Rasheeda handbook, okay? Be in denial, cry about it, forgive, and repeat. Okay? Rasheeda, girl, you're mad at the wrong person. Kirk has embarrassed you multiple times, not Ashley. Okay? So if she says, I don't want that for myself, that's not a dig at you, honey. And if you think it is, that says a lot about the state of your marriage. I'm just saying. And deep down, you know what? You probably know that you've accepted some shit from Kirk you shouldn't have. I'm just saying. So hearing Ashley say, I don't want to be like that, that struck a nerve for some odd reason. Okay. Was Ashley wrong for saying she don't want to be like Rasheeda? Hell no. But let's be honest. Ashley, you more like Rasheeda than you want to admit. You still with your man and you still hoping he'll change. I'm just saying. After all that tension, they kissed and made up, at least for the cameras, honey. Because Ashley, you damn sure had a lot to say in your confessional, honey. She said something about Rasheeda can't be trusted. If you gonna throw your friend Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage under the bus, throw some little lies on it, bitch, what would you do to me? And Ashley, girl, you're spot on, but you could have said that to her face. But Ashley got real nosy real quick after they made up. She gonna try to pull some last minute tea from Rasheeda. So she asked her if she really saw the receipts and the videos of this chick with Mendeecees' name tatted on her. And Rasheeda, girl, she said, one thing I don't do is lie and blurt shit out that ain't true. Low key saying, yeah, she seen it. Deflection at its finest. Okay. Rasheeda and Kirk are tired of looking. They're tired of the world looking at their marriage sideways. So now she trying to redirect all that attention to Yandy and Mendeecees. Meanwhile, Sierra announced that she's with child. But y'all, do we really believe it? Or is this just going to be another storyline where she come back and says she had a miscarriage? I'm sorry, but I'm giving this one the side eye. But during the announcement, Sierra gave a shout out to her daughter, Paris. Lovely moment, but not a word about her son, Mason. We never really hear about him. It's always Paris this, Paris that. So she also thanks Zay for loving her and her daughter. Again, no mention of Mason. So this obviously is supposed to be a happy moment for Sierra, but her mama is not thrilled. Okay, she interrupts Sierra mid-speech and she says something to Zay, but she didn't really finish. She says, so who told you? And that was it. She just left us hanging, honey. What's tea? What's going on? So mama then turns to Zay and asks him, is you ready? And he says, overly. I'm telling y'all, mama, she knows something we don't. Okay? Because did y'all hear her when she said that Paris has been slick talking her on the low, or sneak talking to her on the low? And Paris was like, Grandma, don't start. Now I'm curious as to what tea Paris has been spilling to Grandma. Okay, because maybe things are not like what Sierra is painting. I wouldn't be surprised. But Mom, you are dead ass wrong for bringing this up during an important moment of her life. Nah, this could have waited. But Mama keeps going, honey. She says, I'm just trying to make sure that y'all ready for this baby and that Zay is the right person. Listen, y'all, Mama Kim ain't pulling this out of the thin air. Okay, Paris has been telling Mama something on the low. I can already tell something's going on. But Mama Kim continues and says that, she's trying to make sure that Paris and Mason are good. Finally, somebody mentions Mason. Now, why did she say that? Is it because Sierra ain't doing enough for Paris and Mason? I'm telling y'all, Paris has been telling Grandma something. She's telling her what's really going on behind them closed doors. But Sierra tried to brush it off and she like, me and Paris are best friends. But honey, if that's true, why is Paris confiding in her grandma? Okay. But then Sierra brought up that when she was 15 and pregnant, her mom put her out. And she says something about her mom not wanting the kids to call her grandma. Child, this is a mess. But it seems like Mama is trying to make up for lost times by being the mother to Paris she went to Sierra. But honey, it's too little too late. But I'm telling y'all, there's something going on behind those doors that Paris has been telling Grandma. And I can't wait to find out. Whew, child, but that is the end of this episode, honey. I'll see y'all next time. If you made it this far, child, I hope you did. But give the video a thumbs up, leave your comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.